Hi folks, Mr. Long here. We're going to do a screencast on limits when you're given equations and in a piecewise format and graphs. So it's combining the use of an equation with the use of a graph within the limits. So here's the first question, number 3. It says find the limit of this. Double of f of x plus g of x when x approaches 2. So what are we going to do? Let's think about this for a second. Well, one of the things that I would definitely want to do here is come over and figure out where f of x is as x approaches 2. So f of x as x approaches 2. Well, which function would I pick at 2? That's right, I'd pick this one here. So it would be 2 cubed. That's 8 plus 1 is 9. So we know the y value is 9 when we get close to 2 for f of x. What about g of x? What's g of x worth as we approach 2? So g of x as we approach 2, not at 2, approach 2 is right here. And it looks like it's about negative 2.5. Okay, so for this one here, again, 2 cubed is 8 plus 1 is 9. And then for this one here, it looks like it is at about negative 2.5. Okay, let's take a look at some solutions here and see if we can make sense of it. So the first thing we did is we looked at the limit laws. Okay, so we broke it down. So I know that 2 can come outside because that's just double the limit of f of x. So I put a 2 there. And then I just have I just have the limit of f of x. Then I break it down, so the limit of the sum is the sum of the limits. So I do that separately from that. And then I have the limit as x approaches 2 for g of x. Which, again, now I can replace, I have to pick what's the right version of f at x. Well, if x is approaching 2, I'm using the function for x greater than 1. So what I do is I replace it algebraically. I have x cubed plus 1. And then what is this limit here worth? Okay, what is that limit worth? The limit as x approaches 2 for g of x. So g is the graph, so I come down again here, and I look, and it looks like it's negative 2.5. Okay, so next thing I need to do. So now I've got this, I've got this x cubed plus 1, well, and I've got 2 of them, right? I've got 2 of them. So I've got 2 multiplied by 2 cubed plus 1, and here I'm adding negative 2.5. That's the same thing as subtracting 2.5. By the way, 2 cubed is 8, 8 plus 1 is 9, times by 2 is 18, minus 2.5 is 15.5. Okay, and that's how you do that question. Okay, everybody, so now we're going to look at number 4. So number 4 says find the limit as x approaches infinity of f at 2x divided by x cubed. Okay, so what does f at 2x mean? You would recognize it like cos 2x or sine 2x means it's compressed horizontally by a factor of 2 or horizontally scaled by a factor of 2. Makes it steeper, right? So, but on an algebraic perspective, so we have to look. First of all, f is the algebraic function. So when we see f at 2x, it means everywhere where you see an x, you're going to replace it with double of x. Okay, so let's figure out which equation we're going to use for f. So x is approaching positive infinity. Is that greater than 1 or less than or equal to 1? Well, it's greater than 1, so it's this function here, x cubed plus 1. So I know I'm going to replace that with x cubed plus 1. So I started with this limit here. Right, that's the original limit. Now I need to replace it with this x cubed plus 1, except I'm not doing x, I'm doing double of x. Right, and that's where I get this right here, double of x. So I've got 2x cubed, so that means 2 cubed and x cubed. 2 cubed is 8, and x cubed is x cubed plus 1. And then it's divided by x cubed like it is. So now I'm approaching infinity, and 8x cubed plus 1 over x cubed. Well, this looks like a fairly traditional limit. as x approaches infinity. So one of the things I can do is factor out the greatest exponent of the bottom, right, x cubed, and basically it's going to result in me dividing the top and the bottom by x cubed. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Okay, so what I've done now is I've divided 8x cubed by x cubed. That gives me 8. I've divided 1 by x cubed by getting 1 over x cubed. And then in the bottom, I divided x cubed by x cubed, which gives me that. Go over to here. Well, now what happens to this? What is 1 over x cubed as x goes to infinity? That is 0. 1 divided by infinity cubed is 0. So the only thing that's left is 8 divided by 1. And 8 divided by 1 is 8. And we're done. Okay, folks? Hopefully that helped.